One of the key outputs for the research is a Modi order or a living systems compass, which helps to visualise a whole range of key transformative actions that we can take for urban wellbeing. We've worked with Mana Whenua Group in Rotorua, and they've built their own housing and neighbourhood scale compass, which they've used to co-create their vision for Modi order for their particularly for use by their iwi developers.
So we jumped on the waka with the AUT Auckland, and we've been now on a journey of 18 months testing these elements, testing this Modi order compass that's based on international research that the National Science Challenge funding have funded this with AUT. We've tested it with our people, we've gone to the hapu, how does this feel, what is this? Could we, instead of having a strategy that might sit on the shelf and just grow dust and never be used again, can we instead look at developing a model for housing for Te Arawa?
The housing situation with our people was a catalyst for change, and when you think about housing, it's not just a roof over your head, it's about educating our people on the system and the ability to get a house, all the things that come with that. It's about employment, it's about all these pros that are important for us. So it's a holistic approach to well-being, and the catalyst has been housing. You know, when you look at housing, it's one of the three needs of humankind: food, water and shelter, right? So we'll address the shelter part of it, but it has a connection to all those well-being factors that I've talked about. Social connection, cultural connection, really understanding who you are and taking pride in that. You know, environmental challenges that we face, you know, and how do we connect with that? And of course, commerce. We've got our assets, we've got our land, you know, how do we actually generate the income in a balanced way that also contributes back to adding value to those other attributions that I've just talked about. So housing has been a catalyst, but as Jude explained, this well-being is very holistic for our people. It's actually going back to the traditional values of our people.
And then looking at this Modi order well-being compass, it's all like the stars are aligning. Might be it's Matariki this year.
Might be. You know, but that's right. Hand on heart. Hand on heart. We have Te Arawa's support for the 2050 vision. 18 months of work across a whole raft of entities, koeke, rangatahi views, many interviews and so on, and surveys. So hand on heart, I have not yet heard any dissension from Te Arawa that this is not a collective vision, and that's no mean feat. But it's a signal that alliances are really important in driving change for our people. Being on the same page, being able to educate, not so much educate, communicate with them in a way that they can see who they are in this space and they're included. That's fundamental. So we can hold our vision 2050 up and say, this is our people's vision, not Tatau's vision. This is Te Arawa's vision, you know, and that's the exciting thing for me. Getting to that point where you can say your people have worked as a confederation of people, where we also do not understand the connection to our hapu and to our iwi perspectives as well. So that's all there in the vision, so excited by it.
And I'm excited about not just having a vision, but implementing it. As an operational lead, it isn't just a document with aspirations, we're actually driving it out for the people.